Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us on this fine Wisdom Wednesday. We have Ray with Wellabe. He is going to go over Wellabe's cancer plans and how they can really help you grow your business as an agency owner. They are crazy simple to sell. And Wellabe overall has made some fantastic advances with their application process, their user friendliness, everything. So I am going to let Ray take it away. He knows more than I do, and he will be your source of information today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, for having me. I'm going to turn my camera off so you don't have to worry about looking at me. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for inviting me on the call. I'm excited to be with you guys and to share more about our cancer product with you, as well as talk a little bit about something we've got coming down the pike as well. But first and foremost, when we talk about cancer insurance, it's about helping clients feel well prepared, well protected, and well loved. That's Wellabe's thing. Our name derives that we'll always be there for you and your clients. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and and I'll be happy to address them for you at the end, and we'll go from there. But just a little bit of background for those who don't know, Wellabe might be a new name. It's we're still Medico, but Wellabe is the parent company. And how I was taught, I'm going to share with you guys that Wellabe is like Coca-Cola and Medico is like Diet Coke underneath. It's a brand within the brand. But been in business since 1929. Very strong, financially stable, excellent rated. As I told you, we'll always be there for you and your clients. Accessible, it's speedy at underwriters. We even have a hotline that you can call underwriters if you ever have a questionable case that you'd like a little bit more feedback from an underwriter. They can help you to determine whether it's something you should be submitting or not. But multiple products that to satisfy all your clients' needs. We have very easy cross-selling tools, innovative tools for business development, and I'll go into more about that as well. But why your clients need first diagnosis cancer, I'm sure everybody on this call has someone in their life has been touched, if not your own, as far as cancer, what it has done. So there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, I like to tell people is there's a lot of hidden costs that people are not aware of with cancer, something that your medical insurance doesn't talk to you about, and but there's a lot of expenses that people just incur, but they never even thought about that it would be part of a cancer expense. But just by the numbers, because I'm a numbers guy, I've always looked at numbers don't lie. So when we take a look at this, by January 2030, it's estimated that a population of cancer survivors will increase to approximately 22.1 million. Now, obviously, when you take a look at that, we say, wow, that's a lot. And it's going to continue to increase just because of, medical technology and so forth. But the average cost for medical care and drugs tops $42,000 in a year following cancer diagnosis. U.S. cancer patients with Medicare coverage at age 65 plus face the highest out-of-pocket costs within the first 12 months following diagnosis of cancer, average about $2,200. And a lot of that has to do with, the people that are Medicare Advantage driven because they are exposed to a lot more of your out-of-pocket expenses. When we take a look at, in the U.S., 40 out of 100 people, adults, will develop cancer during their lifetime. That's 40% chance, and that's pretty high if you ask me. So out-of-pocket expenses costs were $16.2 billion in cancer patients in 2019, and that's only rising, just obviously because of the cost of everything. Indirect cost of diagnosis, we hear a lot about the experimental treatments, deductibles, and copays, medicine, special nutrition supplements, expenses for gas, parking fees, or doctor visits, treatments and therapy. That brings up, one of the points I was making about the hidden costs. A lot of people don't realize, you got to and from visits to the doctor, which leads on to the next one. You may have to travel. There's meals involved, lodging. And usually when someone's going through this, they usually have family members with them. So there's additional expenses that are being incurred. So you also have income loss due to working less, caregiver or home care that may be needed, employment, legal, or financial guidance for a will, income taxes, and employment rights, clothing costs for weight loss, for treatments. These are things that people don't even think about when they're being diagnosed with cancer. They're just thinking about, man, I'm hoping there's something that they can do for me and help my situation. And they don't even consider all the other costs. And like I said, like I refer to as the hidden costs. When we talk about our first diagnosis cancer, this is where we're currently located at, where you can sell our first diagnosis cancer product. Obviously, if it's not highlighted by the initials of the state, that means we're not there yet, but we're striving every day to add states as we go. When you take a look at our cancer plan, it's pretty straightforward. It's a first diagnosis plan, and it is an indemnity plan, which it'll pay directly to the client with no questions asked. All we ask is the diagnosis from the doctor with the claim form, and boom, it will cut a check. And it's based on the first diagnosis. They're not going to have to worry about going through any treatment or anything like that. You get us the diagnosis, we'll cut you a check for the amount that was offered to the client. The lump sum cash benefit, as you can see here, we have 4 to choose from. You either have 10,000, 15,000, 20, or 25,000. And the issue ages, you can write it from ages 18 to 79 years of age. So if they're turning 80 tomorrow and you're in front of them today, you can write them. It is guaranteed renewable coverage as long as they pay their premiums on time. We do have a household discount of 10% discount for members in the same household over 18 years old if they're issued coverage at the same time. So it does give you a reason why you should try to write more than one person on a product. It can be very beneficial, obviously, for discounts. When we get into the plan details, it's a very, very easy application. If someone is on this call that has sold our cancer plan, it's only 3 health questions. It only goes back 10 years in total health history. It's a 30-day waiting period, which means if you wrote the policy and it took effect today, you'd have to wait 30 days to file a claim on a cancer diagnosis. But it begins from the day that the policy was issued. You do have an inflation protection optional benefit rider if you'd like to add it. Virtually, it increases the cash benefit amount by 5% of the original amount each year for the life of the policy. So just for the sake of easy figuring, let's say if you sold someone a $10,000 first diagnosis cancer and you added the 5% inflation rider, that means year 1, it would be worth 10 grand. Year 2, it'd be worth $10,000, excuse me, $10,500. In the next year, it would be increased to 11,000, and so on. It's going to increase by 5% of whatever the base amount is each year, beginning the second year. It also is unisex rated, so the same rates for men and women. There is no difference. And they have a 30-day right to examine the policy. So once the policy is issued and delivered to them, it says if you cancel your policy within 30 days, we'll refund the premium paid and void the policy if that's what they want. When you take a look at affordability, these are just some snapshot rates. For like a 20-year-old, you're looking at about $12.15 a month. 40-year-old, $14.85. 50-year-old, $21.60 per month. 65-year-old, $39.15. And person that you can write on this policy. Now, obviously, if they turn 80 and they live beyond 80, they can keep their coverage. We don't cancel it once they turn 80. It's just that's the last year that you can get into the plan to apply. But if you're 79 years of age, $47.25 a month. How do you sell this plan? Well, you take a look and you show them numbers. You show the male and female, the policy demographics. 58% is female, 42% are male. When we talk about age, 65, under 65, 65 to 74, and 75 plus. As you can see, the lighter blue area, which is 65 to 74, dominates who owns this policy. Now, as you know as well as I do, cancer does not have does not discriminate on male or female. It doesn't discriminate on age. So I believe everybody that you come into contact with need to have the conversation with them. And even if we're talking to the people in that 75 plus age bracket, they're still dominating 21% of the people of the policies. When you look at the plan maximums, the most popular policy being sold is the 10,000, and that becomes with us as agents out there. It's not because the other ones are not affordable. I think it's just more about talking more about more hidden costs. The need for having more of a lump sum benefit comes in handy, especially if they have a plan that has a lot of out-of-pocket expenses, even if they're under 65 and they're on major medicals, or even your group plans today, there's still a lot of out-of-pockets involved. So it's all a matter of how you sell a cancer plan. I believe it can take care of hidden costs. I believe it can help replace some income for people that are off of work due to this disease. So it's all a matter of letting them know that they can use this money any way they see fit. So use it wisely to maybe offset even their monthly bills that they're going to have struggles with while going through the cost of cancer treatments and so forth. So be aware of what the expenses are out there. Make your clients aware of all the expenses that they're not even thinking about yet that they need to know. When we talk about your potential policyholders, talking to people about asking, is there any family history of cancer in your family? If you're dealing with someone that is the sole wage earner of the family, talk about them, tell them about how this can help replace some of your income, obviously, because it's going to cut a check at one time. They can spread that money out over as many months as they'd like to maybe offset not only expenses, but maybe even some of their income. Especially if you've got people today that that have credit card debt or who's not maybe saving enough to cover expenses. This is somebody that could definitely need and want this coverage if they were shown. Once health insurance doesn't cover cancer-related expenses or treatments, there's a lot of out-of-pocket. I cannot express that enough. Today with Medicare Advantage plans, you're looking at a 20% copayment till they hit their max out-of-pocket. And if you sell Medicare Advantage plans, what those out-of-pockets can look like. Obviously, one who strives to protect their family assets. It makes no sense to me to have a person dig into their personal savings to pay for any of these expenses that could be covered by insurance, which is pennies on the dollar to get that type of benefit covered. So definitely express to them the transferring of the risk of losing assets could be extremely important. First diagnosis cancer insurance pairs well with obviously Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, hospital indemnity plans, especially if it's in a specific state where maybe it's not available. I know our hospital indemnity plan, for example, is available in Virginia, but we can't offer our cancer rider that's on the hospital indemnity in Virginia. So some of these things you need to be aware of, obviously the states you're working with, and helping them be better prepared for stuff like that. Pairs well with dental. There's a rise also in dental related cancers. So these are things that can pair very well together. And then obviously final expense. Your sales tools. Yeah, go ahead.
Ray, if you don't mind, would you go back to the pricing slide? Shane asked to see that again before you get too far.
Right here.
There you go.
And obviously, on our My Enroller, guys, you got the quick quote option that you don't even have to be contracted with us to be able to quote this product. And if anybody needs me to share that with you, it's quickquote.myenroller.com. And if you type that in, like on your Safari, on like if you're an iPhone user or whatever, if you type that in like a URL, it's not an app. It's a URL, and then you can save it to your favorites. And when you do that, all you have to do is it's going to ask you the state you want to quote in, and it's going to ask you the zip code that you want to quote, and then the date of birth of the person that you're wanting to quote. Once you put that in, you can quote anybody anywhere, whether you have a contract with us or not. It's just a URL. It's not an app. You don't have to be contracted to be able to look at our quotes on that. And you can quote all of our products on there, not just cancer, everything. Okay. Okay, our Mayan roller. If any one of you use our Mayan roller, I think you will agree with me. It is one of the easiest applications out there. It's we don't deal with anything paper. Everything we do is digital. But obviously, to be able to use Mayan roller, you can either use it on a desktop computer, your laptops, or tablets. You can quote from a Mayan roller as well as email quotes through Mayan roller. But you have to obviously have an internet connection to be able to use it, and you have to be able to log into through the agent portal with Mayan Roller. Now, Courtney, I don't know if you guys deal with like Sunfire or any of these other quoting platforms out there, but Mayan Roller is also can be quoted through those platforms as well.
Awesome. That's great news.
Okay. Yeah, but what it does is when you get ready to use your Mind Roller, like I said, it's going to ask you for the states that you're doing the application. And when it asks you that, it wants to make sure that everything that you need for the state you're writing the application in is going to be automatically uploaded to what you're doing. So you'll never have to worry about, do I have all the right forms? Am I missing something? It's very easy because it's all going to be user friendly to the state that you're in. It's going to have any forms that need to be done will be attached, and it'll let you just move very, very quickly through the process. And typically, you can get these things done in probably about 2 minutes. You can bypass a lot of your data entry process. It automatically loads into our system. It accepts e-signatures and voice authorizations for in-person or even over the phone sales. So it makes it very, very, very easy. Not to get off point with our cancer product here, but for some of you that have sold our Medicare supplements and you've actually used the Mind Roller, you've probably already experienced that you're not seeing, in some cases, you're not seeing health questions pop up on the application. That's simply because of this system is designed that it can underwrite it with just your basic data like name, address, phone number, social security number, things like that, and it'll automatically underwrite a med sub policy. Now, it goes a little bit further when you're doing a cancer because we do have to ask those health questions on there, but that's part of the Mind Roller that makes it real attractive for most users as well. Obviously, you sign in through the agent portal. So if you have a contract with us, you should have a username and a password. And you go to wellabe.com, sign in, you use your username and password, and then follow the instructions. It'll take you, there's a Mind Roller tab. You click on it, and you'll be able to either quote or go to the application. Some additional customer resources that makes this very, very easy, not only for you, but specifically for your clients. We have a mobile app that's designed for customers. It's not designed for agents. However, if you own our product, then you can download the customer app as well. And you can do that straight from the Apple Store or Google Play or anything like that. And what does it allow your customers to have access to? They can get their ID cards if they need ID cards. They can actually see the plans that they own as well as the coverage details. So this would obviously help them in the event if you're out of pocket and they can't reach you, or if it's after hours, they have access to this information 24/7. They can actually submit claims directly through the mobile app. For like our hospital indemnity customers, or like in this case, a cancer customer, they can take a picture of the diagnosis that their doctor has signed off on and submit that in to get their claim started. So it'll help speed up any of the claim processes as well. It'll also help them if they need to find a nearby provider, not necessarily a network, but if they're just looking for a provider. Maybe they're leaving their job and they're getting off an HMO and there's time for them to start looking for their own doctor or something. We'll help them through that process as well. So we'll give them a list of providers that they can follow up and go see if they want to. They can receive support quickly through our customer success directly from the app. Obviously, if it's after hours, because we have a customer service line they can call from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or excuse me, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. However, if it's after those times and they still need some help, they can get help through the app, which is very helpful too. And then God forbid, if they ever lose your information as their agent, they can even look to see who was the person that wrote their application, wrote their policy, and it'll have your contact information there in there as well. So they can also go to wellabe.com/customer resources to learn more about the app, as well as anything else that we have that can help them or assist them. We have a new vision and hearing coverage to present to clients. If you're not taking advantage of this, this can help you. Obviously, two plans, that the VSP, which is for your vision plans, and then we also have one for hearing as well. But it's two plan options. It gives them a contact and a website they can check on. One person or an extra person or a whole family for vision plans. There's over 41,000 providers in the country that accept the VSP individual vision plans. So any of your clients out there that need help in this area, especially if they're not a Medicare Advantage plan and don't have access to it, you can help them in these areas as well. It has unique prescription and materials that can assist them with their vision. Also, it helps them with their annual well vision exam. And but it's really good. I had the pleasure of going to the Medicarians last month. Actually the end of March, first part of April, and actually spoke to one of the VSP reps that was there, and they've got some really exciting stuff coming down the pike as well. I can't give you all the information on it, but I would encourage you obviously to take a look at it on their website. And you can also find out through our through Medico too. Is once you get on the wellabe.com, we have links on there for the VSP as well. And then this is the hearing. The hearing program is the Start Hearing. It's a risk-free 60-day trial period that your clients can take advantage of. Takes care of everything for your clients. Discounts up to 48%. Free office visits, batteries, and warranty plan through Start Hearing. It's a nationwide network of over 3,000 plus hearing professionals, and they even offer financing available as well. So I would encourage you, obviously, if you want to learn more about this, you can go on to wellabe.com, and it gives you a full, there's actually a PDF of the vision plan as well as the hearing plan that you can actually download and print it off if you would like. Or you can even order them from the company too, through the agent portal. Visit the Vision and Hearing Partners page on the agent portal and download the customer flyers. That's what I was just telling you about. And it goes into a lot more detail. And there's even numbers that you can contact for additional information. So a couple of things I wanted to mention to you guys, Courtney, for the team. We've got incentives on all of our products. You know, our short-term care product, we currently have an incentive going on. It's going to go on for the whole year, but we're doing it in 6-month increments. If you do 5 or more qualifying short-term care apps during this time, we're going to pay you $100 per app. And we will extend that beyond the 5. There's no cap on this as well. We also have a Medicare supplement incentive. If you do 10 or more underwritten Medicare supplement policies from January 1st through June the 30th, we'll give you $200 for each underwritten plan N. We'll give you $100 for each underwritten plan F or G, and we'll give you $15 for any other type of app, like an open enrollment or whatever. And this will also renew or roll over for July the 1st and start over again for the last 6 months of the year. And then last but not least, we have our cross-selling incentive, which includes the cancer policy, is what I just went over with you, as well as our hospital indemnity and also our dental plan. So, and the way it works is this one's based on a quarterly basis. So currently we're in the second quarter of the year. So any policies written from April 1st to end of June, if you do 5 to 10 applications, we're going to give you $50 per applications. And we don't care if it's all hospital indemnity. We don't care if it's all cancer. We don't care if it's all dental or a combination of the 3. Doesn't matter. We'll pay you $50 per app for applications 5 through 10. If you hit 11 plus applications in that same quarter, we'll go back retroactive and add 50 to the first 10 that you've done, but pay you all in all $100 per application going back to the first one. You just need 5 or more qualifying applications to qualify. This flyer that you see that's shown here is also on the website, and you can have it downloaded in a PDF, and it's a front and back, or if you're printing it off, it's going to be 2 pages, and it shows you the rules. If you order the flyer, you'll get them where it's front and back. If you print it, it's going to be it'll be 2 pages. But the only thing that you really need to know about the qualifying is that you have to have a minimum of $25 monthly premium or $300 annually for the app to count. But the rules are all in there as well. But there's no cap on this. So if you do, I was dealing with another distribution channel, and they've got an agent that's writing on average 25 hospital indemnity apps per week. This gentleman that's doing this. So if you do the math, if he's doing 25 per week, he's getting the $100 per app. If you do the math on that, this guy's on pace to make a minimum of 10 grand per quarter just off our incentive bonus. So it does pay very, very well. It's just a matter of getting excited about our cross-selling applications and taking advantage of it. And obviously, if there's any questions or if you need me to cover anything more, I'll be happy to do that as well. Just a little bit about our Wellabe agent experience. This is our trip that we're doing. It's going to be in San Antonio. It might not be attractive to some, but what they've got power packed into all the events and stuff that they're going to be doing is going to be amazing. It takes 500,000 of total health production, which, by the way, all of our products we're given double credits on, just to really push more people to attend. But it's 500,000 of total health production with a minimum of 50% underwritten mix for med subs. So whatever you do in med subs, we just want at least 50% of it to be in underwritten business. And the qualification started April 1st, 2025. So it just started last month, and it will go all the way through March 31st, 2026. And this can also be ordered from our agent website, as well as downloaded in a PDF that you can print off as well. This number is the most important number that you as agents should have. This is our agent sales support phone number, 800-547-2401, option 3, that will get you to a live person where you'll be able to, they can help you with absolutely everything. They can address if you have issues, or if you need questions about claims, questions about commissions. There's even can direct you to the underwriting hotline that you can also for like pre-screening and so forth. But any and everything that you can possibly imagine, they can address that for you with a person that will be living in the United States, not from another country. If we worry about customer service, they'll typically be out of Des Moines, Iowa. And you can also, if it's after hours, you can also sign into the wellabe.com and put a question in there as well, and they'll get where you can send them an email if need be. So that's pretty much all I've got, Courtney. But I will welcome any questions that you may have, or anybody on the call. I'll be happy to address any questions.
Ray, I just, if you wouldn't mind, would you go over the cancer rider on your hospital indemnity? Because I think that that's a really cool way to get somebody
Absolutely.
2 different coverages with no underwriting.
Yes, absolutely. For those people who are whether you're familiar or not, on our hospital indemnity plan, if they're between the ages of 60 and 79 years of age, it is guaranteed issue. There is no underwriting, which when you take a look at let me do this for you. I'm going to pull that up real quick if time permits here, just so we'll have it.
And while you're pulling that up, the cancer premiums, you're in at the rate that you signed up with, as long as you continue to pay, correct?
Correct.
So they do not increase every year, Doug.
No, they're not going to increase. I mean, they could have a rate increase, but it's not necessarily likely, and we haven't had one. And um, but no, you're locked in what you come in. But yeah, anytime that there's always a chance of getting a rate increase, but we haven't had one. It's just like our
Thank you.
hospital indemnity. We have never had a rate increase on the products. Matter of fact, about 4 years ago, we had a rate decrease on it.
Nice.
So let me see here. I'm trying to find the one. Uh, well, I'm gonna just scroll through it to get to the where all the riders are, if that's okay. But if I
Sure.
need to cover if I need to cover more, I'll be happy to do so. Well, first of all, here's our. Let me go back one. This is where you can write our hospital indemnity. But as I mentioned to you guys, if you live in Virginia or you sell in Virginia, our hospital indemnity is available in that state, but we can't write our cancer rider in that state. The state of Virginia has not allowed us to do that. I can't give you the reason why, but we're constantly trying to keep submitting it to see if we can get it added, but it's not there.
There's always one, isn't there, Ray?
There's always one. Exactly. But this is our base benefits on it, but I want to get more to the and get to the riders. Here we go. Here are your riders. Go back one. For example, the ambulance service rider, a benefit rider, pays $250 a day, ground or air, maximum 4 days per calendar year, a $2,500 maximum on that. That's a rider that you can add for a cost. You also have the skilled nursing facility benefit rider, pays 100, 150, 200 per day, up to 50 days. It has a one-time restoration of benefits. If they go 6 months without a claim, will restore their benefit. We have the outpatient therapy chiropractic services benefit rider, pays 50 to $100, 50 per day, 15 or 30 days for outpatient therapy. On this particular rider, I would recommend the 30 days because there's not very much cost between these two, and it's well worth having the extra benefit there. And it pays up to 5 days for chiropractic services as well, for like manipulation of the spine. Here's your cancer benefit rider. This is a one-time payment. It's just like the other plan I was telling you about. It's based on first diagnosis, and it even covers a malignant melanoma. It's treated as a internal cancer. You can write this up to age 80. The optional payouts are 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000. And yes, you can stack this. You can write this hospital indemnity plan, and you can write our first diagnosis cancer to beef up more cancer benefits if you would like. What makes this really, really attractive, especially anybody that's between the ages of 60 and 79 that has had cancer in the past that maybe couldn't qualify for another cancer policy, it's guaranteed acceptance with us. The outpatient surgery benefit rider pays $250, $500, $750, or $1,000, up to 2 days per year for that. The urgent care benefit rider pays $50 a day for up to 4 days per calendar year. The lump sum hospital confinement benefit, this is in addition to the daily benefit that you would sell them. If you wanted to add this, pays up to 3 benefit periods per year. You choose the amount necessary or needed. What I can't stress enough to you is this right here on the right side, guaranteed issue from 60 to 79. Not only should you be talking to you people that are worried about cancer, but when you think about any and all conditions that are out there that would keep these people from normally being turned down, not only can they buy our hospital indemnity, they can get every rider guaranteed issue as well, except in the state of Virginia, they can't get the cancer rider because it's not available. But so this is huge. The underwriting on this is very liberal, even if you're below age 60, because we write this product from ages 18 to 85. So anybody 18 to 59, we're going to ask them health questions, and anybody 80 to 85, we're going to ask them health questions. But if they're between 60 and 79, when you start this application, you will not see any health questions populate your application. It identifies it based on their date of birth. So if they fall between 60 and 79, there is no health questions to ask. And I've been doing this 41 years, guys, and I'm telling you right now, one of the things that I ran across when I was in the field, anytime you had something that was a guaranteed issue or very liberal in underwriting, I would tell all of my prospective clients, you learn this by just telling them, get it while the getting's good, because you never know when they could take this away from us and maybe everybody have to qualify. So I use that to their advantage and just let them know that, hey, get it while the getting's good, get it while you know you can, because tomorrow we don't know if we can insure you, but today we can. So that's huge. I'd like to address any questions, whether it's about hospital indemnity, Courtney, or getting back to the cancer policy.
Yeah.
Let me
So
see if
one
I
quick
can.
question in there is with the guaranteed issue, they just want to make sure that they do not have to ask any of those 9 health questions, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, if they're 60 to 79, once you put their name, address, phone number, date of birth, when it identifies that they're between that age bracket, there won't be any health questions. You won't even see them on the app. If they are showing up, it's either because you put the date of birth in wrong and they're not showing up they're that between that age bracket.
So I went on and I played with your quick quote on the My Enroller that we put in the chat. And
Yes.
for a 71-year-old in Tennessee with a hospital indemnity policy of $500 a day for 7 days, that base premium is less than $40 a month. I added a $10,000 cancer rider and a $200 daily benefit amount for skilled nursing on that rider, and I'm in at under $90 at $85.03. So if you're talking to people that you're moving from a Medicare supplement because they're in their 70s and they've seen rate increases to a Medicare Advantage, that is a really beefy plan to put them on, and you're still saving them a ton of money.
And you're eliminating a lot of their out-of-pocket expenses.
Yeah, and still with no health questions. So no health
Exactly.
questions on the MA plan and none through the hospital
Hospital
indemnity or
indemnity.
the riders.
Yeah, exactly. That's an awesome way. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I think we addressed the cancer premiums. No, they're not going to go up each year on the cancer policy, on the cancer premiums. And we addressed the 9 health credits. That's correct. Any other questions?
Well, Ray, I don't think so. I really appreciate your time.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think these ancillary products are, oh, we do. Um, Doug asked on the other 2 items on the slide, do they apply to GI? The 6-month pre-existing and the 2-year contestability, is that what you're talking about, Doug?
The way the
Yes.
pre-existing works is that if a person had cancer, let's say they had cancer last year, okay, it's going to be a guaranteed issue hospital indemnity, but we're all going to have a 6-month pre-existing condition clause that we won't cover cancer in the first 6 months because that's considered pre-ex. Now, you won't know that because you didn't ask them the questions, but when it's time to do a claim, that's when they're going to underwrite this so that they would be able to see that. So when you're explaining our hospital indemnity to a potential client, especially if they're in a guaranteed issue situation, you just let them know, because usually they're going to ask you, well, I had cancer 2 years ago. Will I be covered? Yes, it's guaranteed issue. But if you have a hospital claim in the first 6 months, we will not cover that claim because it's be considered pre-ex. Okay, that's the way it works.
For
The
the
way that
same illness, is that correct?
For the same illness, correct, for the same
Yeah.
illness. Now, if it's beyond the only way that really comes into play is stuff that they were treated for in the last 12 months. That's where it really comes into play. But the 2-year contestable is a protection that every insurance company uses to protect if a person lied about something or whatever. Now, you're not going to see that because you didn't ask any questions, but underwriting would determine this as well. You won't see this as much in your guaranteed issue cases, but you would see it in your underwritten cases. Whereas if somebody didn't tell you, like if you asked them health questions and they weren't being truthful with you, you have no way of knowing this until the claim happens. And then we do look into it and saying, well, if they would have told us they had cancer, and I'm using the example of somebody that was not 60 years of age. If they were like 55, let's say, and you asked them health questions and they told you, no, I didn't have any cancer, or I didn't have anything, I didn't have a stroke or whatever, it's something that should have been listed, but they chose not to tell you. Well, it's not going to affect the issuance of the policy, but it could affect it on a claim basis because if we found out there was possible fraud involved. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
Okay. And that's really about it. It's a very simple, simple, guys. The application process, as you guys know that have used it, it's super, super simple. It's I'm not a techie person, and I can even go through it. And that says a lot. But anyhow, it's just dummy proof. I mean, it just walks you through it so easily.
Well, Ray, I really appreciate your time. If I could get everybody just to try one cross sell that is on this webinar, I think you'll really see the benefit. Wellabe makes it insanely simple. So if you're looking for something that's just easy to use, easy to understand, and you don't have to worry about your client's health conditions, 110%. Look at the Wellabe products. Our contracting team can get you contracted crazy quick, and our sales development managers will be happy to reiterate any of this if you have questions.
And I want to say thank you, Courtney, for inviting me to this. I really, really appreciate it. And if there's anything I can do, obviously, I'm here. Feel free to share my contact information if somebody wants it. And I recall just a few weeks ago, you reached out to me, Courtney, and we did a three-way call with one of your
Yeah.
agents that couldn't get thought they were doing something wrong because there was no health questions on their Meds Up app. You remember that?
I do, and he is crazy happy that that is all underwritten in the background, and he loves that ease of use.
Yeah, and that was a very satisfying call to take simply because what he wasn't aware about, there was no health questions populating on people that we could underwrite via just with basic data. So that was really really good to hear.
It was, and it was impressive to see it happen too.
I'm glad that that happened. So, but yeah, anytime you need me, Courtney, to reach out, I'll be happy to do any webinars for you guys on any of the products. So I'm just a phone call away.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, Ray. We thank everybody for your time, and we will talk to everyone soon.
Awesome. Well, you everybody enjoy and happy selling.